What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Watch and Cut channel where the fun never ends. Tonight we got a full knife tabletop review of the Jesse James Nomad. This is brought to you by my good buddy Troy, the Bad Monkey. So give him some love, give him a follow on Instagram, and tell him Alex sent you. Anyways, he's probably going to see this video. Troy is a good friend of mine, so we're going to dig into his box. It's way overdue, to tell you the truth, so I'm kind of excited because I've done that really long unboxing, and there is some cool stuff in there. So we're going to start off with this. Now, this is the most polarizing knife in the box. This is the Jesse James Nomad, as I had mentioned. Now, if you guys are not familiar with Jesse James, Jesse James is most famously known for the West Coast Choppers, which is a custom motorcycle builder out of Long Beach, California. Which is now moved over, I believe, to Texas. He's known for his cool fabrication with custom choppers and motorcycles. And then eventually he moved on to firearms as well. And in 2017, he decided he was going to get into custom cutlery. Now, Jesse James is a very polarizing character. Some people love him, some people hate him. He kind of really tries really hard to play that whole, American outlaw, in my personal opinion. But, I don't know, it's a little trying too hard. Otherwise, the guy is an amazing fabricator and very talented. So, but television is drama, so what do you expect? So when you get this knife out here, you got this nice cardboard box, which does the trick because it kind of folds and seals up well. You got this card to make it authentic with his questionable logo, kind of SS-ish, if you ask me, but who's saying anything like that? That's apparently his signature right there, to make sure you know this knife is authentic. And if you don't believe me, you're gonna go in this coffin. Kind of weatherproof plastic here, which is cool. And then you got this really interesting waxy plastic feeling condom.
With one hand, leaving a half-inch space at the tip to collect love juice. Then, with your other hand, roll the condom all the way down, like putting on a ski mask.
So you can kind of squeeze your treat out.
So make that boner beautiful.
Like a kid's candy bar. Or like an anus.
That's what she said. No.
And then you get your lovely knife. So first look right off the bat, the materials do look good, right? You got some carbon fiber in a titanium skeleton type construction. This is Jesse James's take on a SwingKnife, which is based on a knife that he really liked apparently when he was younger. As a child, he had a SwingKnife apparently, and so he just kind of wanted to do his own spin on one. So this is it. This is called the Nomad. There's a few variations, stonewash blades, all blacked out versions, carbon fiber scales that have been perforated is a good word. Then you got Jesse James's logo right here with the, I'll say, lightning bolts. And then his signature, much nicer than what you get on the business card. So there you go. You got this kind of interesting little pivot mechanism right here. I'll try to zoom in when I edit this, but you can see little bronze washers at the pivot area. And you actually have removable screws, so you can take this knife apart. And it's got kind of an interesting, like a fixed kind of cradle, which is actually flared out to give it additional strength. So that's kind of cool. Looks like some kind of washer system or something like that. It's nice manufacturing. As far as the blade hitting this handle, doesn't look like that's much of a possibility the way it's constructed. But this carbon fiber, which is nicely chamfered, it is a little bit rattly right in between there. Lots and lots of different grip areas. Feels pretty natural right here. We'll talk about the deployment thing. But yeah, here it is deployed. It does not lock, so it does freely swing. The way you lock this knife is when you grip it. When you grip it, you're not gonna be able to like fold this thing on your hand. It's just not gonna happen. Now, you do have blade play up and down. I'm not gonna criticize that because this is a 4-way moving pivot design. So, I mean, to be critique, and you're probably hearing some of the handle too, but, well, let's see. Yeah, no, it's blade play. Yep, it's got some blade play. It's not too bad. Not enough to be substantial. The edge is pretty crisp, actually. It's really, actually not badly done. It's got some bite to it, you can see. And it's very even all the way through. Nice piercing tip. Now, most of the time, most knife makers will make the tip like a little bit thicker to kind of overprotect, I guess, to make sure you don't break the tip off as easily. So they leave that flared. Now this blade here has got pretty substantial blade stock. A little too substantial in my opinion for the size knife you have, but if he wants to put this through a car door, I guess that would be a little bit better way to go, although I think it would just break off probably all the way back here. But as a knife, it's gonna cut. As far as how long it's gonna cut, well, you have AEBL blade steel, which is a pretty stainless steel, kind of comparable to 154 CM. Good stuff. A little bit more fun than the standard like S30V or something like that. Stonewash finish. Decent plunge grinds. Transitions are all even on the blade grind, so good job there. Here's this kind of unique pivot here, and I think that is where people would have a problem probably taking this guy apart. I don't think you're going to be able to, and you can see there's bronze washers in here as well. Along with these little tapered areas. So everything with bronze washers, as I expected. So it does kind of, it moves decent for what you need to do with it. But this is a knife that took me 20 minutes to really fiddle with it, to really figure out a clever way to open it up. For me, honestly, and like, you can kind of fiddle around with the logo and whatnot. I just like to kind of scoot it over and make sure that, we have blade stock up at the tip and not the blade edge. And then you'll get the same result when it flips around, right? So maybe if I want to, I'll do a quick check. I extend my finger out because this thing, if you don't, it'll completely extend out. So I kind of block it when it gets to its 90 degree with my finger, and then I use one of those holes to kind of help rotate the scale down. So like this, and you can see my fingers on that second one, and then I just grip it. And closing, I kind of use it like a flipper, and I just guide it around. I guess I should show that one more time, right? So you can see blade stock on top, so this is good. I'm gonna open it up so it's right side up, and then my flipper tab, I use this little guard right here, and I go halfway, and I'm obviously not going to be able to close the blade on my hand, right? So this is the reason I flip it around, and then I guide it up with my index finger, and then this will naturally kind of fall down. So for, you know, in like kind of like real time, now I'm gonna be all shy in front of the camera. There's your opening, and then closing like this, and there you go. I don't know, guys. Is this curing a problem or creating a problem? I guess if you like to fiddle with stuff, this is something that you can fiddle around with. But honestly, even people who like to fidget with stuff, I think this is gonna get old, especially when you want to just grab a tool, or imagine handing this to your friend to use, and then he goes in to grab it and he's like, you know, and it's a sharp tool. It's not a toy. So for me, it's a miss, not a win. That's just me. So for what he wanted to accomplish, like, he did do it well. Like, I can't criticize him for that, but it's just, you know, I just kind of have to judge these knives as, what if somebody just bought this as their only knife? Would this be like a knife I would just recommend my coworker? Absolutely not. He's gonna cut himself.
Pull my finger. I mean your finger. Shut up, buddy.
Most definitely. Not even just maybe, you know? I'd probably cut myself with it. Is it cool? Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? It didn't come with any instructions. I had to figure out how to like flip-flop it around and to do it one-handed. So there's that. I don't know, guys. Is this a hit or a miss for you guys? I'd love to hear it down in the comments. But anyways, let's do some specs here. So as far as the blade length, we have 4 inches. The blade thickness, we have a whopping 0.24 inches thick. This guy is girthy. As far as the cutting edge, we have a total of 3.3. It's a full flat grind Tonto in AEBL steel. Just a good overall steel, and kind of developed a little bit more for its stainlessness. As far as the handle, we got 4.75 inches. The thickness of it, we got 0.48, which is a bit thinner than the average 0.5. The weight on this guy, 4.3 ounces. Not bad, but it's the weight of a standard titanium frame lock. Now, it's kind of lengthy, I guess. I mean, you do have an overall 8.75 inch knife here, which is not a small knife by any means, but a lot more of it is definitely handle than anything else. Materials, we got titanium, which has been dark washed, but honestly, I want to call this a Texas T finish because it reminds me of a quartermaster. And it's funny, I told somebody this, and they told me a little birdie had mentioned that these were indeed, in fact, made by Quartermaster for Jesse James, and that these were actually kind of in that era where they got in trouble for saying their knives are made in America. Because they weren't. They were made in China.
Comes from China. That's why.
And this happened to be one of those.
Comes from China. I want to be accurate.
So I kind of believe this rumor because when I go on Jesse James's website, there is no trace of this knife on that website. And the rumor says that he just flat out said, nope, I want no more affiliation with this. Stop making them. And I'm just going to get rid of what's there. Looks like they're all at knife dealers now. A few of them on sale, by the way. I saw one for like $180. But this normal selling price is about $250. The durability, it's definitely there, and honestly, it is kind of cool and unique. So there's that. How about the bads? The bads is, number one, if you own this, I probably would say you're 60% likely to cut yourself because it's very fiddly at first. If you're not careful, I have not cut myself yet, by the way, with this thing. I've come close, but not yet. But I think it's very easy to do. So that's one thing. Deployment itself is very fiddly. No pocket clip, guys. So if you carry this, you got to carry it loose in your pocket, or maybe for a clip slip, that wouldn't be a bad idea either. Probably a safer bet anyways. Because this loose in your pocket, I really don't see it, you know, rotating 180 degrees in your pocket. So I don't think that's going to be a thing. But I don't know. It's kind of just rattly and it's not going to be comfortable in my opinion. I guess the last thing that I kind of want to nitpick on this thing, it is durable, but regardless of it being durable, it doesn't really give you confidence in the hand with the, you know, this kind of rattling around, then there's blade play and the scale kind of moving around. You just don't feel I don't feel super assured with this thing. Because I understand mechanics and tolerances of materials and stuff really well from being in the automotive industry, I know this knife's not going to fail, but it just doesn't give you confidence, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. So that's kind of my gripes about this knife. So let's do a conclusion on this thing. Honestly, these are kind of cool. I know I kind of complained a lot about it, and I think it's just because I think it's fun to hate this knife, but it's really not that bad. And if you really want a swing knife, I think this is the best option you're going to find out there as far as materials, using kind of something more modern and definitely more durable. The knife does have a really good cutting edge right out of the box. It's utilizing a really good blade steel. It does have a fairly robust blade stock, and you know, the tip does get a little bit thinner, so I do like that aspect of kind of where he was going with the blade design. But as far as like the swedge, it's just kind of afterthought, or you know, like it's not executed very well to me, and that's just because of the angle that he kind of chose to do all this. But that's more of an aesthetics thing. Now, as far as the price, I think it's too high. On sale, 50% off, or you know, 40% off, sure, I think that would be definitely a decent buy. But overall, even if it is $250 and you just gotta have, you know, one of these, get it. Don't listen to me. I'm just not into this thing, you know, but this is me talking here. I'm sure Troy and many other people are gonna love this thing. And it is kind of like a cool bitchin' biker knife, right? Like, I guess that's, you know, that's what this guy kind of would go for. So it does kind of do that, you know, it does kind of make you feel like you have something weird and unique, not a typical like Benchmade bug out or something you'll find in your other coworker's pocket, right? So that's my overall thoughts on the Jesse James Nomad. Well, till next time, guys, this is the Watch and Cut channel, out.